Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Friday, August 10th, 2018 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is Aham Prima, which means I am divine love. And this is the space that we want to hold as we enter into our third and final eclipse of this little eclipse season, and the third and final eclipse, well actually the fifth and final eclipse of 2018. Now, today is interesting, and I didn't want to do a horoscope. I was like, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to do this, I'm feeling all these things. And then I was like looking at the astro, I was like, I need to do the thing, I need to do the astro. To help set the space for us, to set the tone, and just to mention that the moon today, on Friday, is in its perigee state, which is where it is closest in its orbit to the Earth. So that makes this eclipse energy a bit of a supermoon. When you hear something's a supermoon, it's because it's close. So even though we will not see the moon, even the moon is in its dark state, it is close, which means the moon is magnifying the waves of emotions that go on in us. Now, hopefully, as this is the third eclipse, and we are in 7 retrograde planets, and it's been so much in 2018, hopefully you've processed. But if you haven't, if stuff comes up, which it might in this astro, excellent, please let it. Please allow yourself to release, and please do not feel any shame or holding back when it comes to that. Because that's what this astro is here for, to help you release so you can let go of this stuff and move on to your next direction, which is heart-centered living. So this is a rising, ultimately, of Christ consciousness, sacred heart, love consciousness. And so a lot of times in order to get there, we have to be able to release some of the walls. And a lot of those walls are built with pain, unforgiveness, resentment, betrayal, abandonment, etc. So chances are, when you are releasing, it will be those energies. The moon today is doing its work. The moon is making almost all of the connections. Some of them are a little challenging. There will be worth stuff coming up as the moon squares with Uranus. Know your worth. Remind your inner child of your inner child's work. The moon is connecting with Venus. Practice that self-love. Bring on the self-love for your inner child. Moon is going to be squaring Jupiter. Oh my goodness, Jupiter in Scorpio. That intensity. Again, the shadows might come up. I'm tuning so much into the inner child because the inner child has so much to bring you. Not just because that is the energy that Leo does connect into, but your inner child literally has so much information. Even if you feel that you had a good or happy childhood, that doesn't mean that there's not hurt and wounding still in there. So be willing to connect into that. Besides that, Mercury is also connecting into that Jupiter energy, Jupiter in Scorpio, so you may get some insight, especially through your willingness to be there. Your work at this time is to let go. And look, it's even in the cards. There are heart walls that are keeping you from fully allowing your inner child to come out and play. I just heard to let the dogs out. But in regards to this, like, your inner child wants to be released from those walls. Look into those places where you carry unforgiveness, betrayal, abandonment, fear, pain. What else is coming up? Worth stuff, for sure. Worth stuff where you were told that you weren't good enough or not worthy, or that you had to be quiet, or that you didn't know what you were talking about. Maybe you did. And maybe it's time to release those energies. Mercury connecting to Jupiter is going to help with your understanding of that. And the moon connecting to Mercury is going to rise these energies. Now, the last thing I want to mention is the patriarchal thing. That's part of it. Part of the patriarchal plan is to keep parts of us suppressed. So this is your way, again, of beating the patriarchy so that you can step into queen or king of your life. This card, Journey of Love, is so good. So I just want to show you really quick these other cards that I have. This is where we're going, to this place where we share our light, where we share our love. And the universe is telling us that we're ready. This is just the process, realizing where we have those walls and letting go. The other energy, holding that new vision. Again, realizing where we've been suppressed, and then reaching to the light, and I'm grabbing the light of the heart and letting that come out, up and out. Oh, before I get to that last card, which is so good, I want to mention the Sabian symbol for this because it's really interesting. A chemist conducts an experiment for his students, and it just talks about intellectual analysis and blah, 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 but it reminded me of body chemistry and how much of our chemistry does depend on how we think, how we eat, how we're showing up, how we allow ourselves to process. So just think about your own personal chemistry, and if you want to take it a step further, there is a thing called Heart Math. Look it up online. There is a company. It's actually located really close to where I used to live in Santa Cruz. Look up Heart Math and see some of the work they're doing to help increase the energy of your heart and let it break free. Speaking of breaking free, this card, the breaking. Here's where we're at. And again, I encourage you, anything that comes up, let it out. Even if you think there's nothing left, because man, I feel like I'm definitely like a sponge wrung out, but I think there's a few more drops in there that can come. You're breaking apart. You may not understand it all. There is not so much to be understood, but the simplicity doesn't mean it is easy to endure. You may worry that you're going too far, that you may not recover or ever come back together again. But what can you do? Can you hold back from the divine love that calls you, that lures you to becoming all that you are, to remembering your divine nature? Well, you could try, but for what purpose? Temporary rest before the storm at best. So take the rest if you need it, then dive into the storm. Let yourself be brokenhearted by the divine so that you can become your truth, become all that you are meant to be. It is better to have the heart broken so that it grows than to be brokenhearted by thinking you must protect yourself from love. The oracle brings compassionate guidance that no matter what sadness, anger, despair, frustration you feel, you are being pulled apart, not by dark forces, but by the loving embrace of the divine, as it strips you of that which would keep you from your divine realization. Let go and break. It is going to be the making of you. So, it is going to be the making of you. All signs pointed to do this horoscope. So here I am. I will be back tomorrow to do the horoscope for this eclipse. It happens at 2:58 a.m. Pacific time, by the way. So it's a partial solar eclipse. So we will not be seeing it here, at least in the States. But here it comes. Get ready. All right. Book a reading if you would like to dive deeper into your personal chart. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. I have tons of options for readings. The better it gets. The better it gets. I promise you that. And there is enough love in the world for you. Namaste.